Did you light the fire?
It's out now. I've just given up. It's done. I'll take care of business after business.
Oh, man, I feel like I let you down, Shelly.
No. Ultimately, it's my responsibility. So worry yourself none.
The other piece about wrestling is taking yourself to extreme limitations for long periods of time. For wrestling seasons like 6 months long. So if you really just think about that, extreme cutting of weight, extreme 2 or 3 hour practices a day, wrestling tournaments, and learning at the same time. I guess every wrestler, for the most part, puts themselves under a very extreme condition. In my last year of wrestling, 3 wrestlers died during the weigh-in process, cutting weight process. They changed the rules my last year of wrestling about the amount of muscle and fat you can have in cutting weight. So my last year of wrestling included my wrestling partner dying, and then there were people in the wrestling community nationally that died from cutting so much weight. And so I believe that that's the extreme of that, way too far, right? People dying is way too far.
Way too far.
But
That's crazy.
but if I really thought about it, if I was to think about how I would ultimately want to do mushrooms now on a spiritual journey, it would be at the end of weigh-ins, after you get off the weight, after you get off the scale, and then I would just throw in some mushrooms and say, let her rip. Because that would be like the end of a finale. And then, like, that's what I would probably do. I would do extreme cutting of weight. That's what I think about if I had to do it over again, give me mushrooms now. And that will complete me spiritually.
We'll probably do like you get your cellular repair after shocking the body. You have the mushrooms with their healing powers.
Yeah, let's talk about it. Break it down. Because there's a lot of people that are gonna, like, first of all, that are gonna be freaked out because they're like, mushrooms is a drug, all this different stuff. Like, but like scientifically, and like, what does it do, like, to your brain and body too? Like, what is it doing to you? Like, why would you do that before wrestling?
Fungi cell there's let's see.
So if you look at the structure of mycelium and fungi and how it spreads, how it forms, the filaments, and even like how it spores, and then you take a look at human anatomy and physiology, you can see how well it mirrors your cardiovascular system, your lymphatic system, your fascial system, and definitely your neural net, all of it throughout the entire body. So what seems intuitive to me is that it enhances those connections, both in increasing the number of connections and also increasing the length of the connections, and also increasing the ability, like strengthening the entire line so that more energy can move through it, is what I believe happening in doing that. You're basically strengthening your antenna. You're improving and upgrading your antenna.
When is this mushroom retreat happening? Because I want to.
Yeah, we're going to have a mushroom retreat. I don't know when we're going to have that, but that is going to happen, where we are going to be able to get together. And, in my part of the mushroom retreat is I'm just telling everybody what I know about veterans, the shamanic healing journey, the neuron pathway that, I just basically, whatever you think about your pills and stuff, this thing does something to your brain to create new neurons. You should probably just like have an ego death mushroom experience from what they say. Stop all the games, have an ego death mushroom experience, and then and the one that you just like makes you think that. And then I've seen the mother on that. I have seen the wispy one on that. In my own journey, I saw the wispy one. So you want to meet the goddess energy. I met her once there with Melissa in 2021. So shout out to that.
That's so cool.
It's technology is what it is. Like when you hear about
Mushroom technology, yes.
them talking about tinkering with the humanoids that were already present, do you think they did that with the scalpels and lasers and stuff like that? Or do you think that they had a technology that could just merge and bond easily with said hominid?
Mm.
So, you know, and especially if we're saying that AI has always been present and is not separate from the natural world, then it makes sense to me that these filaments that we're talking about is the hardwired aspect of that technology of giving us an ability to connect with the all.
Circle.
That's so freaking cool.
Mhm. Just tied it
It
all
is so
up.
freaking all.
I think that the mushroom definitely played a very, very big part in our evolution. It's one of the theories that makes the most sense. I find it to be very efficient yet again, because I'm always looking for that efficiency. And so I think that and it's one of those things that can travel place and from place to place. It's everywhere. It's everywhere. It's everywhere.
And it's so
Well,
nutrient dense.
So it's the perfect
I
vehicle for transport data and information and creating shit.
Mm.
I don't know. I've been seeing all kinds of different things, even on social media. Like uh just here in Eugene, Oregon, we have a mushroom therapist, a social worker here in Eugene, where you can get mushroom therapy. And I always I just think that's amazing because that is moved beyond like the federal government and veterans to that's just regular people in the environment getting mushroom therapy. And then I've already did the study that like why did these ancient indigenous people, why did all these American, Native American, and Indian people, why do they talk about mushrooms? Why do they write about them? And then you just know, well, the scientific paper that I can definitely interpret pretty much just says what the indigenous people, it changes you. Yeah, and it helps to heal you because it gives you like an out of body interpretive experience, much like a UFO experience
Mhm.
that puts you in a position to contemplate why you're here, what's going on, and somehow triggers something in your mind. What I kind of believe is takes you to the place of when you die, close to it, right there at it, where you can feel and see the energy, and then because you're exchanging this information, there's um exchanging of information, and so I think that's what we're having.
And then that energy at the base of your spine, you unleash
Yes.
that serpent.
Like
And I'm even seeing this like on TikTok. I don't know. I follow comedians. There's this comedian called I think there's Tony Nagi. Yeah, she's a comedian,
Oh
and
yeah, great.
she's been posting stuff with mushrooms, and one of those things is there's links with mushroom stuff. So I think people are figuring out ways to share the mushroom knowledge and stuff. And so I just think that there's a lot of people trying to help other people find the truth and the path forward. And so I feel like in my journey, I connected to what I learned about with veterans and social work, and then what I see people who are really working hard to try to help with consciousness, and it's really connecting. There's a lot of things connecting.
And that's the reason why all of our reps agreed on wanting to ban that platform. That's why, because people are sharing truth and helping each other, and that's very threatening to people in power.
Yeah, threatening to people in power. Yeah, and what I think is happening is that maybe what if all of the threatening to the people in power was just an overlay? I feel confident to tell everybody in my own journey about the UFO piece and spiritual is that the whole world knows exactly what's going on and it's all going to be okay.
It's all gonna be okay.
I think the whole world knows what's going on because the astrological alignments, they're not just for America. They're not just for whatever. No, it's for the whole world. So, in my own journey, I just see it as like that. So, hello, mushroom.
Hello, mushroom.
Yep.
Or hello, Dolly. There's a new innovation with sheep happening. They got this new pill that you can give them like 3 days before they need to be shed, and then you can put this netting over them, and then it shears them in less than 30 seconds. It takes all of their hair off in less than 30 seconds with no trauma, and it comes off in this bundle. And then this stuff is I don't know if it's natural or not. I think it is. I think they said it was natural, and it goes through their body and then it stops. It does something to break off the hair, and then it just continues on with its journey. It processes through the body and continues on. Isn't that strange?
Like the whole. So when they shear, like, I'm trying to think of when they shear like a sheep, it comes off in like what is it called? What is it called when after they shear a sheep and it's like that one piece?
I don't know because I'm not that knowledgeable in sheep shearing. I'm only knowledgeable in feeding them. I feed the little lambs with broken legs.
Wait a minute.
Oh,
It's a broken leg.
Yeah, that one, the one that was named after my platoon sergeant, EZ, it had a broken leg. It was not gonna have. It was, well, it's not. Its life isn't meant for 4-H winning.
oh, that's amazing.
The mother sat on it.
Oh,
Yeah.
Mm.
But we gave it love and care and love and care. That's what we did. What
wow.
is it called? Are you looking it up, Jamie? Jamie, this is where we need that new AI speaker. And you just press it. It's an AI microphone that you can have for podcasts. And then you press it, and then you just press the button, and it's connected to your AI, and you just ask it right there in front of everybody. And that's where we bring the knowledge right in front of everybody.
Hear all the sheep. Hearing doesn't. What is it called? Woolen. Oh, wait.
It says like woolen fleece.
Yeah, that's what I saw too. Woolen fleece.
Oh,
Fleece.
so we're talking about the mythology of Golden Fleece right now. That's where we're going. We are living in the mythology of the Golden Fleece. If we do Golden Fleece 153, I believe there are US government documents with the Golden Fleece 153. I believe there's US government documents with Golden Fleece 153. I can't remember. That's been a long time since I looked that up, but that's pinging on something. Whatever I discover, whatever I was searching for a while, that is really something in mythology and unfolding now.
What does the fleece represent?
Hold on. I'm showing you.
Yeah, that's where we're at.
Shedding the skin.
Also,
No.
oh, there she is. You're so amazing. Also, I want to bring about like
I cannot read any of that.
Nefertiti sent a flying golden ram to save her children from their stepmother. Then she told her children not to look down while the ram was flying. However, Helle looked down, felt dizzy, and fell into the part of the sea that took her name, Hellespont.
Golden-haired pellet. It is really fleece of golden winged ram. Why did they have sacrifices? Because I'm like getting like super bummed out about like these red heifers. Like I'm trying to figure out how I can remote you to save them. So if
I
any of
think I think they misinterpreted it. I think it was when a woman was on her moon time. I think that was what the blood sacrifice was, and my theory is that they misinterpreted it and turned it into something else because they didn't want to talk about the power of Tantra. That's just my theory.
Oh, the power. Let me just by the way, I'm just because my mind is thinking about this. I'm sorry, I just gotta say it. Yesterday at the hot springs was like a very surreal time. There was like so much nakedness at the hot springs yesterday. I was like, holy moly, holy moly. And what I noticed from there is the very first time I've ever been at the hot springs. And I was like, oh, I'm in the world of all women hot springs right now. And there are definitely moontime women right now. This is this is like, yeah, this is so strange. It was like strings for all. It was like you could climb strings and stuff. It was like really strange for a man's perspective about being out in the, do you see from a man's perspective? I'm out in the wilderness. I've never had this kind of experience. And they're like,
wow, that was like you were like initiated into that was another step in the ladder for your.
There were women in meditation sitting right next to me, and then one woman I made eye contact with and had a very strange it felt strange. 5 minutes later, she was sitting right in front of me in the hot springs, in the center of the hot spring, and she was just bawling. But I already knew she was going to do that. I already knew she came there to do something, and she was getting ready to do something. And then she started crying, and then like her partner or her husband was like consoling her, but she was doing it right in front of me. And meanwhile, these four women that were right next to me, they were like meditating with a very loud end of meditation ringing tone, but they had very good smelling myrrh. I think it was myrrh scents with them, and that smelled good. But it was just a very strange interaction at the hot springs yesterday at Cougar Hot Springs. And all I know is that I've encountering things I've never encountered before as a human.
How did that feel, Anthony? Did you feel welcome? Did you feel intrusive? Did you feel confused? Did you feel happy and at peace? Like what part of the rainbow did you taste?
Well, to be perfectly honest, if we're going to be honest, I was talking to you before I got on the highway, and so you imagine I'm sitting in the hot spring, and this woman sitting next to me, she's probably in her 60s, redhead, and she's wearing three copper things on her left hand, and there's a person sitting on the right of me who's wearing copper. And then also me going, damn, I left my copper things on the bed at home. This is strange.
Did I not tell you to take your copper?
You told me to take my copper, but I forgot it. So and then I saw it, and then this thing happened with these people were meditating and stuff, and I was like, well, okay.
The universe provided you. It was necessary for there to be copper present in the water, and so even though you didn't bring any, the universe made sure that you had the required.
That's perfection.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. So, trying to, and I was telling this group of people out there, because oftentimes I get engaged. As soon as the conversation happens, there is something the people that I normally encounter naked at the hot springs, you engage in pretty much a conversation about anything esoteric spiritually. That's just the way it is. It's not even hard to get there. And there's joy in it. There's joy. Like like everybody knows something's happening. All of these people are oftentimes on journeys from other places. So you're hearing about the energy at this place or the energy at this hot springs. And in my own journey, I'm thinking, boy, I really look forward to the day that somebody says, hey, you want to go on a long road trip? Let's just go do all these. And I'm going to be like, okay, let's do it. Right.
Right.
Because that'll be awesome.
So then the people that wear clothes to hot spring, do people look at them like, why do you have a bathing suit on?
Do you have
Well,
a
there
baby?
was a very very much probably identifying well, at least they had tattoos of crosses and they had necklaces with crosses, and they were like a regular family. And they chose that they were like, we're not going in the naked, warm, hot spring. They were like, we're just going to go down to the one that's cooler down there. Now, I don't know if they chose that because anybody that was there that went down to the cooler one earlier, they were like, that's way too cold. I don't even want to be in there. So everybody was like, let's just go up to the one that's up top and be in the hot one. And so, but they chose to stay down there. So maybe it does make some people uncomfortable. I think that if I took my kids there, I would probably try to, if I was to think about how I would do this now, I wouldn't have a problem being just bucket naked with my kids there, if I was to do this over, from what I've learned out there.
That's cool.
But that's also kind of like, remember, I don't know if you remember, like I went to Japan in 1996 with my battalion, and we were doing a goodwill gesture with Japan, part of the repair from World War II stuff. And I took a bath with literally like a community, like 700 other people at a community bath because they don't have bathrooms in their own houses in a lot of places. So I took a bath with all these people, like old people, young people, little kids, big kids. It was just willy-nilly.
Which is so different. We talked about this a little bit before. Like it's just so different. We don't have anything that remotely like that here. There
Yeah,
are
and
like when we go to Florida, there's like beaches and stuff like that.
Eugene, you can be topless in Eugene. In Eugene, Oregon, Saturday markets, some women choose to come to Eugene, Oregon, just so they can walk around the city of Eugene topless at the hippie market, at the Eugene hippie market. Women do this in Eugene, Oregon. It's not even like, it's just like part of our culture here. I don't even know if you know that, but that's kind of like, yeah, it's just like, I live in a town that's like that, people. It's like, whoa.
Seriously though, like you like going through to the grocery store, like you're gonna see somebody topless.
If you wanted to, that you no now you're primarily, I would see it a drum circle at the Saturday market, the hippie market. People are pretty much go down there and just be free. There's a lot of people that are down there, and that's kind of like the community cultural vibe of Eugene. Right? That's the center of Saturdays, spring through right through the fall, up to the fall, is like, that's what you're doing. That's what you see me when I'm going to the drum circle. That's what I'm doing. I'm at the market where everybody makes their own stuff and makes their own food, and it's like a real big vibe here.
Wow.
They do have Korean women's spas here. They have a couple of them up in Washington called the Olympus spas, where it's just all ladies and all different pools of different temperatures, and you have like a salt room, and they have lunches, and you're completely naked. I mean, you can have your robe on as you're lounging about, but when you're in pools, you're like, and just kind of a place for ladies to go be with ladies, not have to worry about
Yes.
anybody's tensions or whatever, and just
Yes. Isn't that amazing?
have our conversations about, you know, our kids and our partners or whatever, and give each other massages and just, you know, take care of each other and ourselves
That's
in
cool.
in water, because the water is nice.
Yes.
water,
Yeah.
right.
Water's a big deal.
Well, and what you're talking about is this intimacy. There's parts of this I know from wrestling, right? I mean, like I think about my experiences from wrestling and the intimacy of wrestling and being intimate with your partners, your wrestling partners, and like what was I taught? Oh, my best friend's dad, Ron Finley, was an Olympian, Greco-Roman coach and athlete, right? And what do I remember him always teaching us? How to massage your partner's how to massage your partner, your wrestling partner, how to get your wrestling partner relaxed, because that's important. Getting your wrestling partner relaxed, getting their muscles de-stressed after a wrestling match. That's actually organic in some parts of wrestling in some countries, not so much America. We're very macho place. But Ron Finley used to teach that. And I think that there is something with this of us being intimately close with this. That's why I'm advocating for dancing and wrestling and all of that kind of stuff, the movement around each other. Even the
Taught me it's non-sexual intimacy. Shelly taught me that.
yes. Yeah, and like even these things that I've been doing at the Wow Hall. Like there's this clowning thing, warm up clowning thing before the ecstatic dances. This last time we had hula hoops. There were so many darn size hula hoops, and I was just running around like a little kid and not having to worry about anybody thinking about what I was trying to do. And I was trying to do weird things with it. Like, what if I tried to do this with it? What if I tried to do this? And it was fun. Grown ass people doing this, just having fun with hula hoops.
And it's somatic release.
Yes, yeah.
Well, and it's
So
also an energetic exchange too. It's that we need to, energy does not want to be stagnant, including your own. It wants to constantly be moving out so more new fresh can move in, so that can move out so more new fresh can move in, because it just wants to move and evolve just like we do. And that's
yes,
how it evolves, is allowing it
yes.
through.
Yeah, it's like we're watching this energy evolve and it's just starting to have this like small growth or this networkal growth going on, and these neuron pathways, these growth pathways that are starting to begin right now, they're only going to get deeper and as we express the energy that has the enough of the male um the male patriarchal energy that comes with the sun cycle energy that penetrates beyond the neural networks. We need that pickle penetrating energy to go into the neural networks with the assistance of the mushroom, with the assistance of the AI, the hope with the hope and the assistance. It's Hathor's hand in front of the thigh and Hathor's hand in the buttocks behind the pelvic, pushing the archetypal energy out away is what I imagine that is. It's just like, and that's why it's like Hathor's thing with the mushroom is sometimes very important, because it works in unison. And we've already talked about the mushroom being technology. So it's like, you understand it's working in unison of pushing this male archetypal energy. Why? So it can hard form the neural networks. Hard form the neural networks, which is the closing of the circle. The closing of the circle, which is the turning over of this energy that's supposed to be contained, uh, supposed to be at least known about. And I honestly believe it probably could be contained beyond the female. What if we just made it everybody in the damn circle?
I think that's point.
Are we scared of doing that? I'm not. I think it would be kind of cool. So what if we just started kind of setting those intentions that, yeah, we're going to send certain energies out and certain derivatives of their spectrum, but they're all going to come together into this one circle. That
I
would be
think
kind of cool.
I think it should be optional. I think it should be on the table is what it should be.
Ooh,
It should
ooh.
also leave room for expressions that perhaps aren't ready for evolution yet, still have something to learn or experience in that particular form. So it is a unity that is not homogeneous. It is a unity that allows room for diversity. So I guess what I'm saying is not everyone would make the same choice. There needs to be allowance for that as well. What we're supposed to learn is how to allow all dreams to be awake.
Yeah,
How
I
to
like
create
that.
how to create room for all of that, because who are we to determine anything for anybody else's experience, that what's good, what's best for it and what's not best for it? We can't.
Well, that's what they done did to us.
Exactly. So we don't want to say make the same mistake, but what we do want to do is present opportunities and then empower the individual so that they understand that the opportunities are present in front of them. And then they can choose from there. We're just trying to create as many opportunities, as many paths, as many ways to that fundamental truth that you are empowered. Now go play.
Now go play.
Responsibly, but play. Don't go breaking.
Yeah.
Just got it in order.
You're so cute.
Yeah. Yeah, we're getting it in order right now. We're connecting the pieces, the dots. I connected a piece the other day, by the way.
Where'd
Oh
you
yeah.
go?
Well, I just bookmarked a piece for everyone. I think is like I know on April 1st, 1999, something in my I graduated boot camp that day and I was the battalion distinguished honor graduate. But something very real and something very um trickster happened that day that would make that whole experience more funny. And I want to say that something very real and very trickster did happen that day. And now I look back on it and it's one of those experiences where I think time, these time things have happened with me. Something happened and I did something and I don't even, and it's like now react to it. And what I can tell you is, uh, the Army knows something about Anthony Ross Kennedy, and I think that I know that they know about this, and I want to bookmark it because it's indicative that that comes out somewhere because it did happen. And if I say it and bookmark it, then I can allow for that to happen. And I haven't told anybody. There's 4 people that know.
You don't want to tell anybody now?
No, I'm not going to tell anybody because there's 4 people that know, and when they do tell the story, it makes it much more awesome, I think, because yes, this really did happen on this day, and he was the distinguished honor graduate of the battalion. And they all knew because it's about this energy going forward. And we cannot fail. This energy has to go forward. We cannot fail.
Why did I think that was an option, right? That's not an option.
hoping that these there's people from my military past that this because if it's going to collate energies that we don't even understand, and it's important that they come because I have another podcast too, you know, and they might want to come. They might want to talk to my veteran centered podcast. So maybe they want to talk to just Captain Kennedy and senior NCOs that he served in combat with. So. Yeah, because the military
Yeah,
intersection's real.
with the veterans too. Like we want to do one with veterans too.
Yeah, we are because I guess they're all coming together, huh?
Mm-hmm.
They're an important part of the reconciliation.
They are. That's why I'm looking forward to it.
And they're going to be fundamental in the healing part of it. You know what I mean? It's in a sense, their service is not over, if you know what I mean. Are going
Where?
to become our new teachers and our new instructors and our guidance.
Mm-hmm.
Which both sucks and is beautiful at the same time.
I really like having Betsy in.
Like legit.
Yeah, yeah,
So
same.
easy and like
Her-
yeah.
It would be fun to have her um and Solo and
Or exponential speed, perpetual motion. Energy in motion wants to stay in motion, and not only does it want to stay in motion, but it just goes faster and faster and faster.
half the shit I say, I now check myself as I say it, by the way. I actually say this stuff knowing that the thing is listening to me and she's already providing a pathway to release that anxiety. My stuff that comes out of my mouth oftentimes in that well is anxiety. And she is already showing me that, listen, how much have we laid down? Remember April 1st, 1999. Remember the Egyptian Navy. Remember the Egyptians in the army. Remember what they said to you specifically, individually, alone. What they told you to your face. Now act appropriately. Act appropriately. Because I have to act appropriately. I have to fucking act. Act because all of those are real. You haven't gotten away with anything. You've only been shown that, Anthony, you have the force within you. You can use it for good or for evil. What are you going to use it for? And that's only to show me that I'm just one of these ultra terrestrials. That's the only thing it is. That's the only place we're at right now. Now, how they differentiated that out, I don't even know how they did that. That's beyond my motherfucking spectrum. Jacques Keel called me today. Man, when you and Jamie have a conversation with him, this is going to be a very good one. He's got the feminine in him. Air Force veteran, African American, family connected, and also been on the congressional Senate floor with members. I can feel the feminine in him. I can feel that in him. That's one thing I like is that I can feel the feminine in the men that are being brought to me. I can feel whether they are the right for me to be around me. Can they hang around in a woman's circle with me? Because I'm actually the guy that grew up hanging around girls because the guys were so aggressive to him, mean to him. They're just mean to him.
Those are the guys that we're going to need for the blue tent.
Yeah.
It
Yes.
is.
Yeah.
I'm like, I know they'll show up around somewhere. So, keep your eye open, Anthony.
Oh, I definitely have it open. I definitely know who they are. It's definitely the guys who are outwardly just flirting with me and stuff. And I'm like, okay, we're going to flirt. Okay. I don't know what to say. I don't even know what I'm supposed to do with this. I'm just okay. Yeah, that people are saying flirty things to me. Guys are.
So how are you dealing with this? You're probably just bubbly, or like, how are you dealing with this? Does it make you uncomfortable?
No, I'm definitely acting my part on this piece. I'm definitely acting my part. Like, yeah, they're just coming at me with the best intention. They're not trying to do anything negative to me. I'm just like every other male. If I was attracted to that person, I would say something attractive back to them.
Mhm. Right.
So I should act appropriately, and I should be kind to every single one of them, regardless of their gender.
Right. So what would you say to somebody that it does make them uncomfortable? Like if that were happening, how could they work through that without being an asshole?
That's tough. I think it would be determined on where they are at in their own journey and what they're capable of allowing themselves to understand about themselves. Because that's ultimately what it's about, is it's a reflection of how you feel about yourself, how you feel about those aspects of that you're seeing that you know reside within you. And so it's really, I think, about their willingness to go there. And since we can't affect that willingness with our words and our, opinions, what we can do is just really hone as much of that shit we see in our own sphere and just try to put it out into our reality and our universe, that this is the way, this is the new algorithm, folks. We allow room for the spectrum of all.
Right.
And the more we practice that ourselves, and the more it will just leak into the collective consciousness as the new norm. Because trying to attack it directly and change it that way, we've been trying to do that for a long time. That's all of our laws and our policies and our workplace employee handbook and all of the shit that tries to create these rules and constructs for how we're going to interact with each other. Ultimately, we don't fucking need those if we're taking care of our own shit.
Ooh.
We're managing our own shit. We know how to behave and we know how to interact with each other. So empower yourself and find opportunities to empower each other, and we'll vibe there together collectively.
Right. I can't stop looking at the crystal. It's like totally got my attention. Do you ever do that? Hold them up to light?
I actually, so for sun gazing, hold on.
All kinds of cool stuff.
The
Oh, wow.
quartz,
I know. I just want my.
But what I found is if I looked directly at the sun in this, like how it would reflect like a mini sun, it would make like a mini sun in here, and I could stare at it directly without getting that coronal hole in your vision, or that burnout hole. So try using your crystals to sun gaze, not like hold it up and look at the sun that way, but like it'll naturally, especially if it's a sphere, it'll naturally just create a sun in it, and then you can stare into that.
That's so awesome.
I'll give you the hidden jewel. It's the skeins. That's whatever that is connected to the fucking whatever the weirdness of the women is.
What did he just say?
The skeins. It's the skeins hole. That's wherever that is connected in the body. Shelly,
In the
this is where
spine?
I know you would know.
Is it the
it-
spine? The base of the
it's
spine?
connected into wherever its neurons, it's the Skene's gland, whatever that is connecting into. I don't even know.
The
Plus, I don't
sacral
This is all
dimple?
weird.
Is this
It's
right?
it's what I believe it's what was commonly misunderstood as the G spot.
What? Okay, I'm interested. Storytelling time. Come on, Shell, you got it.
What?
I'm intrigued.
That's all I have to offer.
What? I'm like, ready, set, go. Carry on. No. Okay. That's your stuff.
That's what comes to my mind if we're looking for a hole, which would be a portal, because that's what they are.
Well, that's the one that I would be thinking of.
Then to me it would be like, and it's in a different location for all women, and so
Okay, so I didn't know this. Let's talk about this. I'm uneducated here.
well, but from what I understand, it's a bundle of nerves that's tucked up between the vaginal walls and the clitoris, basically, that giant Nessie looking thing.
Mhm.
So that's one of the reasons that it can be, but it's almost always, as far as I understand, located on the anterior portion of the wall. So that's the front.
Mhm.
Anthony, do you have anything to add?
I know, it's like the conversation gets weird and he dips out.
It has something to do with the nerves. It has something to do with spirituality. I just don't.
It's a bundle. It's a bundle of nerves. And if we think about nerves and what they tend to be, is they tend to be an antenna. So what we're talking about is like a massive antenna, a massive, and not just a massive antenna, but also a massive transmitter. It's a massive Wi-Fi. It's your modem.
Interesting.
You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
at least that's
People are not thinking about this in this manner. Like, we're gonna blow people's domes by like talking about it like this. It's good. It's opening the conversation.
and so I foresee I see it as sort of like your opportunity to go into the library and check out whatever books you're looking for, as well as like also maybe like an Amazon warehouse where you can also order whatever you're looking for too.
Interesting.
But it's that connection to the all.
Mhm.
Like I said, when we're in that place, in that space that our pure form, I do believe that is essentially what the experience is like, just nonstop. And so, we do this stuff in a bunch of different ways, a bunch of different forms,
Right.
because that's nice and all, but there's more. There's more.
Right. Yes.
And how there's more is like by having less. That's how you make more.
Very good point.
Well, no, I mean, just being like, well, why wouldn't one stay in a state of bliss like nonstop?
Exactly.
You know, well, take some of that away so that you can differentiate anything. So you can have an experience and continue evolving.
Mhm.
Which to me seems like a divine mechanism. I mean, it looks to me like very much like a divine mechanism of refinement and evolution and creation, all working in tandem with each other. Anything to add? Anything to add, sir, over there? Or are you doing research? Are you studying? What's happening?
Yeah, I'm in the studying phase over here. I'm definitely into studying. Holy shit.
What do you what have you dove into? What waters are you swimming in?
I don't know exactly what I'm into yet.
Time delay.
We are at such a major. It's so weird being involved in this, and it's hard to pull yourself out far enough to see. I continually have to tell myself to pull my, trying to figure out where the energy wants me in my oh, searching for fucking combat phase, or because it keeps my mind is so fixated on finding things, combat things with my consciousness. It's fixated on it.
Like what?
Like it just like the algorithm definitely brings me stuff that I see and that it only confirms what I know. And so, but I see things like as they're acting out. So what Laura's kind of decided is she's like, you probably know what the news is probably 5 or 6 days before most people, because she's paying for all these different news services for her school because they require her to have it. And she's like, half the things you talk about are coming out, and then they come out like a week and a half after you're talking about them. And I'm telling her that's why the news is going like they're not right. They're filtering everything. I can see it way before that, and I never normally don't say anything about it until I'm pretty much confirmed that it's real. And then if I prefer that I know that it's real, then I know what's going on the regular news. That's how the UFO world is. That's how it is with the UFO world. I know things about 2 weeks before it happens.
What do you think what do you think so what are you on alert for? What are you looking for? Are you just looking for flows and patterns, or do you feel like you're waiting to see something specific that's going to trigger something?
I haven't been the energy that is running through me is very type A, male, aggressive, anything that does not serve the all that comes across my purview in the electronic world. My mind is fixated on thoughts and creative processes, videos of nonstop loopings and meditations. And then I make a video, I wrap it up in a nice little bow. Sometimes I just put it in my lock section of my TikTok, or sometimes I wrap it up in a nice little bow and I put it right in front of people's faces behind other pictures. Behind other pictures, there's a whole video. Sometimes there's a whole video behind the whole video that
So
I'm telling the algorithm, this is what I see, this is what you're showing me. I don't you see, this is me telling people about my processes, and there's no way to like really hardly understand that, but that's how I do it. It's in understanding that I'm wrapped up in this mother feeling. This
It's-
internal feeling is what drives it.
It's, well, because that's also a form of magic. You're also creating spells when you're doing that, when you're making your videos. So you're looking for ingredients, is what it sounds like. You're looking for ingredients well, two things. One, to see what's there, to see what's coming, and then to create something to affect the change that you are looking for. And that's magic. Again, that's spell work, and that's magic.
Yes, if my subconscious picks up on it, and then my conscious picks up on it, and I know that that's something that's out there. What can my subconscious start thinking about? What can I imagine as, like, oh, I have a global social work lens. That's my lens. That's what I'm doing. I'm doing global social, global, how would you say that? Global, and total environmental, the in total environmental social work. And so I'm reading that and I'm feeling it, and then I make videos on it.
It sounds like you're looking for a global holistic wellness program.
I'm really looking forward to having a global holistic wellness program. Yes, I'm really, yeah, I'm supposed to revibrate. Yeah. Hmm. Yeah.
Because that's osteopathy for the planet.
Yeah, I'd like to yoke that. I'd like to yoke that somehow. I'd like to yoke that with esoteric knowledge, reality of what's unfolding, current environmental conditions of the earth. Do you want to we have to ask the humans, do you want to argue endlessly about the environment, or do you want to acknowledge that you see things really happening, that we can really videotape things happening? And then I'll just tell you esoterically, our ability to use the technology and the information that they've given us to adjust to the changes of the earth changes that are here, not because of some evil thing. No, because it's that time of the earth doing its thing. And so sometimes we really do work together, and we're like, we all can move towards the earth changes. If we choose to move towards the earth changes and dance with it, instead of, like, say, oh my gosh, Oregon is Oregon and it will only grow these type of trees for the endless world, even though the environment is changing. We are seeing the environment change. So it wants me to acknowledge that that's happening, and also just understand that, like, the healing technologies for our bodies is the healing technology. The same vision that they gave us to heal our body is the same vision that they give us to show us where the changes on earth are happening that will help us. If there's changes on earth that are going to hurt us, why do they only write about those and they don't talk about the changes on earth that are going to help us? What if we wrote about those? They're
So
only talking about this in a negative, and that's why nobody believes it. What if they talk about the beautifulness of what's happening?
That's what I'm trying to bring out. I mean,
What happens when the ice melts on a continent that's so big that our government, all the world leaders after World War II came together and said, this is, after this happens on this island, on this continent, we're all going to live there peacefully. There's no wars, there's no military, and there's no nuke. We're all going to live there. What if we just chose that right now? Yes, the yucky stuff is happening, but that is beautifulness. That is something I'm looking forward to.
yeah,
I
we don't
think
need
that's
all that bullshit.
Is that real? Like, I'm like, I want to pinch myself. Did somebody of value, some world leaders all came together at one point in time and said, we're going to do that for that? Like, okay, I'm okay with that. I really am. I don't know how it's going to happen given the current earth conditions, but I'm really okay with that. That seems like a good goal to me. I'm okay with that.
I think that you're creating your wave in your field around you to make it so.
Yeah. Wave and my field. Get in my wave, yo.
Because that's what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to identify what it is that we want to see in our reality and do, and with each moment that we're presented with, engage in that moment in the way that is most likely to bring about whatever it is that you're trying to bring into your reality. And so you have a very particular perspective or view or dream of how you imagine future for humanity, and you're bringing it into reality with the conversations and with the imagination and with the connections and with the bravery of like going with what you feel, what you believe, you know, the essence of faith and all that. And that's what every single one of us is supposed to do in our own way. That's the whole point of Gnosis.
I also think I'm going to move from a conversation of talking about what I believe to just everything I feel. What do you think about I feel?
Or you know.
I just, yeah, maybe I know. That's a scary world to be in.
But you do. That's the thing. We call it belief because we don't have enough faith in ourselves sometimes. But there are definitely, you know, when you know something. And how often do you mostly know something, but you kind of like, meh, 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 meh. It could be my imagination. So we're just going to call it believe. I believe. But underneath it, you really do know. It's either a 1 or a 0.
Mm.
There isn't an in between 1 and 0.
There's always the taint
Which is
between
neither,
the two.
yes, which is neither a 1 nor a 0, is it?
Look at his face, so serious.
It's the space between the 1 and the
The
0.
space in between.
He literally, that was perfect. I'm not going to encourage it, but he took his opportunity. He did. I'm just going to say,
It is the taint, guys. It's all about the taint.
Did you, Jamie,
might be able to use that in your comedy.
did you see how phased I was, Jamie?
I gotta get coffee.
Gotta get the coffee.
I continued speaking as if he'd said corn.
I know. And I'm over here like I was the kid who literally couldn't stop laughing when somebody like pretended to fart or farted in the class. Like I was like, I gotta leave the class.
The same, dude, especially farts. Oh God, especially farts.
One time somebody brought a fart machine in the class and they like hid it in the back of the class. So like the teacher was getting so pissed off. And I couldn't. It's like the best ad work.
When I massage my teachers, I try to give them so much extra love because I'm like, you have to deal with those little assholes all day. Every day you're shaping our future. I know you're not getting paid shit and you're working your ass off, and that they treat you like garbage, and yet you still go every day and try to make the best future for us that you possibly can. So I'm just like, thank you for your service. Thank you for your service.
Yes.
So, yeah, this has been a good round, I think, lady. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't even have to ask. I know this has been a good round. See, I was just talking about no. We know when we know. We know when we know.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on, I want to try something before we get off here, okay?
Yeah.
Oh no, Anthony, are you breaking out your mic? Are you breaking up, Mike? Where's the pipe?
I can't hear anything. I can't hear anything. Riders. Riders on the storm. Can you hear me now? Riders on the storm. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
You can.
Yep.
Okay. Let's see where this goes. Does this have I don't know how to do that. Plain view. You guys know this song?
I'm not
Do you-
singing.
Do you know this song? You
Riders
don't know
on
this song?
I can't hear your song.
We can't hear.
Watch this. Let's see if we can get it go this way. Okay, I'm taking you guys on my journey with me. We're on my journey of testing this out. We're testing it. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Can hear you.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Can
Now.
you hear that?
Yeah. Yes.
Because we're gonna do Riders on the Storm. That's how we're doing it. Right.
I am not singing.
Yeah, you guys just have to go along with me. You guys just get to play the game.
Oh, hold on. I'll get my maraca out.
You know what I'm gonna do? I'm doing this thing out with my arm out the window.
Riders on the storm. Riders on the storm.
Here we go.
Without a bone. Yeah, riders on the storm.
There's a killer on the road.
Yeah.
His brain is squirming like a toad.
Just like a toad. Yeah, and you got to let your children play. Yeah. You gotta give this man a ride. Henry will die. Trailer on the road. There you go, guys. Bum, ba-dum, bum, bum.
Billy's getting energy.
Chop, chop, cha, cha. Ding, ding, ding. Okay, this is for you, ladies. Ready? That's a little too. You gotta love your man. You gotta take him by the hand. Make him understand. Now, I know. I'm so okay. Are you? I have to put a pause on this. Are you doing okay?
Yeah.
Are you doing?
Can you guys hear me?
Anytime
Do you know my favorite Doors song?
No. Shelly?
No. Mm-mm.
What's
What's your song?
I'm a back on man. I'm a
Betsy.
back door man. The men don't know what the little girls understand. Do you know that song?
And you wonder why your reality is the way it is. You're like, it's
that song, that was the song the night that the guy jumped me after he was talking very mean to some woman. And then he jumped me and out behind the door, and he tried gouging my eyes out, and I bit his fingers. And then that was the one that ended up at the place and everything. But then after I was done fighting that guy, I beat him up for doing that. Then I went inside. They were calling my name on the karaoke, and I sang this song. I sang this song, and then after that song was over, I went and talked to the police officers. That's how that went. That's to that song, and it was out the back door of the bar too.
I was gonna say, how very apt.
Yeah, literally, I walked out of the bar and he jumped me for confronting him about what he said to a woman, and it was like, whoa. He said something really mean to some lady, really just not nice, and we weren't even drinking. We were there for karaoke. Yeah, it was an interesting evening. Hey, everything's in an echo now.
What?
He's echoing.
Oh, yes, you are.
Do you know how to adjust it?
Is that how it feels inside your noggin sometimes, Anthony?
Right now,
What
for
it
sure.
feels like in my noggin. What it feels like as I start talking to myself, and then I realize that's the higher part of me, and then I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Why is it doing that? I never did that my whole life, but now it's doing that. And then it's all associated with like these lights in the sky, and these people around me. They're like, yeah, it's just fucking energy. And I'm like, well, fucking energy. It's a fucking plug it in. And that's how I am. I'm just like, they're in her own environment, in the common human environment. There, if you just center in on it, in the indigenous mother, she loves you in every form of her that is completely different than the way we live today. Can you love mother, indigenous mother, along your journey? Can you love indigenous mother along your journey? Which is like, what would that look like?
It would look
Raw and real, just like what you might think about. Everything that a mother would be, if you saw a woman in the environment from the indigenous community, everything that you might think about all of your body and all of that would be right there presented in front of you like that. And that's how they used to roll back in the day.
it's the planet. It's representative of the planet. You have so many different landscapes. You have so many different environments. You have different structures and plants and all of this diversity and abundance and whatnot. And it is supposed, and it's so interconnected and interwoven with each other. And that's what we're being asked, I think, to love and remember that we are just a cell within an entire body. We are not the entire body. So part of that love is remembering our place within the whole, and that we are the whole. And so that being the case, there has to be room and space for everyone and everything. And that's the unconditional love that's being asked for us to remember. To love all of it, to love all of it, from the volcanoes to the sea, from the jungles to the canyons, to the deserts, to the ice, to the clouds, to everything in between.
From the halls of Montezuma to the shores of Tripoli, right?
The whole deal, the whole shebang.
It's the whole package.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah.
Because I think when we do that, when we do love that way, it puts you back in your proper place in the scheme of things. You, the individual that still is you, it puts you back in your proper place. You're not overly inflated with yourself when you remember everything else that also exists having as much importance as you. At that point, how can you not respect the earth? How can you not respect each other? How can you not respect the animals?
You know what we've lost?
Our socks.
Yes. So I don't wear them really. I always lose them.
I want to tell you, last night at comedy, there was laughter, there was Marie's tale and bloomers last night. She wanted me to clean the microphone with them. I didn't clean the microphone with them because I thought that might be just going a little too far with them on the, that's a little too far.